Hi everyone, I am Brittany the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to all of my subscribers. Today I am going to be talking about the Sacred Seasons book. I was sent this by Running Press Books, and this is by Kirsty Gallagher. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So to start, this book retails for $20 in the US. I will make sure to put all of the links and everything in the description below. But this is, again, by Kirsty Gallagher. She is described as a moon mentor, soul alignment, and transformation coach, yoga teacher, and meditation teacher. So she's the founder of the online school Lunar Living and is the author of the Sunday Times best-selling book Lunar Living, the Lunar Living Journal, and Crystals for Self-Care. So I actually remember this. I was debating between her Lunar Living book and Living Lunarly book. And if you saw on social media, I got the Lunar Livingly book. I just had to make a decision, so I flipped a coin. And my buddy had that book, so it kind of, that's the reason I ended up going with it. So this book is basically a nature-inspired rituals book. There's wisdoms, self-care for every day of the year. So what I like about this is her connection with moon magic. I really do, and which is why I opted to receive this book to check out. So one of the things that stood out to me was the moon through the seasons when I was checking this out, and the breakdown of the seasons. So a lot of books tend to just have seasonal rituals, either just based off of the season or based off of the Sabbath or something like that, right? But this book actually breaks each season into three. So there's trimesters in each season. We have the start, the middle, and then the end. And I thought that was so cool because it gives you much more to consider throughout the season. And sometimes people like to do like heralding in spring and or that transition between spring and summer, stuff like that. So it really, and something else that I've been wanting to do personally is I'm going to get into camping. So I can go in here and based off of the time of year that I'm doing it, I can do rituals based off of if it's, say, the beginning of fall versus the end of summer or something like that. And I think that it just kind of opens it up to a little bit more broad of a process, but it's also not quite as daunting as the 365 days kind of books. And I do have a video on that, and I kind of had an idea that makes those kind of books less overwhelming and less intimidating. So let's go through it. I'm gonna kind of just skip around a bit. So let me just read through it so you know exactly what's going on in the book. So the book is broken up into two parts. We have part 1, the background, and part 2, the practices. So part 1 goes into how to work with the seasons, getting to know the seasons and the wheel of the year, the moon through the seasons, connecting back to nature, and then the wisdom of nature. The practices is where it breaks down the different seasons. So it goes through spring, start, middle, end, summer, start, middle, end, autumn, and or fall, depending where you're from, and then winter. So let's just skip around. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pop to some things that I really want to talk about. The wheel of the year is usually something that doesn't interest me. I feel like I've said this on my channel before, but I'm very much not pagan, and I don't really enjoy the concepts of like Sabbats. It feels very too religion-y for me. but I do like the concept of working with seasons. So this does go into the wheel of the year, but then kind of links it to the equinoxes as well, which I feel like that's sometimes overlooked. So in a lot of the wheel of the years, you just have like the usually just this internal part here where you see the inner circle. It gives you the Sabbath name and then the date or the date range, but I like how it links it with the months and with the seasons. So being able to do that, I think, makes it feel less religion-y to me. Linking certain Sabbats to the solstice, like Yule is winter solstice, and Litha is summer solstice, and then we have Mabon is the autumn or fall equinox. And then I believe, what did we start? Astara is the spring equinox. So being able to relate it to stuff like that. And then also we have like, Beltane is the 1st of May. And that kind of falls like dead center in May, in spring. So you can start to invite like those mid spring rituals that this book has. So I like that concept a lot better. Afterwards, it kind of goes into what solstices are, what equinoxes are. It explains cross quarter festivals, which sounds super fun, honestly. I've heard of them and I've never gotten to go. And then it goes into the history of the Wheel of the Year. Throughout the book, it has these like little like asides that are just scattered around. So this is an ancient monument aligning with the sun. So it kind of talks about Stonehenge and then a few other landmarks that they believe are associated with the sun in some kind of way. We do talk about the seasons from the astrological sense here. I actually like this because if I mentioned that I'm not much of a journaler, but if I do periodically, I'm just not very religious about it. You can you have these like open-ended thoughts behind each season. So we're in Gemini season right now. So let's read that one. It says that this is from 21 May to 20 June, and this season is to unlock the power of your mind and instigate change. So it's things that it gives you kind of like things to correlate to the seasons as well. There's a lot of layers here that you can really, really do. I believe we talked about this in my Astrology for Kids book. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. But the zodiac signs are broken up into 3 sections, 3 modalities: the cardinal signs that begin each season, the fixed signs that are in the middle, and then the mutable signs that are at the end of the season. So I'm Taurus, so I am a fixed sign. So let me read what that says. So this fixed signs stabilize each season and bring us the cross-quarter festivals at the midway point of each one. So Taurus stabilizes spring, Leo summer, Scorpio autumn, and Aquarius winter. Fixed signs are firm and dependable, anchoring us into the season and encouraging us to see things through. So I love how everything always goes back to the concept of the seasons. Here we go into just a description of the different seasons. So it just describes what is going on during spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The moon through the seasons is, of course, the one that drew me in. It goes into like explaining the new moon, the full moon, things that you can do, and things that we celebrate. And then it goes through the full moons each month. So we are in May, right? So the full moon for May is known as the flower moon, for the abundance of flowers that come into bloom. during this month. April showers bring May flowers. So, also known as the hare moon, corn planting moon, or leaf budding moon. Here we have the connecting back to nature part. It goes through different sections: how to embrace change, how to honor seasons, how to slow down and be present, and then how to be all of yourself, and how to enjoy the simple things in life. I really look forward to this section, actually, because again, the reason I want to go camping is kind of for this, so I can just be out in nature. I'm very much like in a concrete jungle, so, but I have a lot of nature available to me nearby, so I want to utilize that kind of stuff. So we have the wisdom of nature. I'm going to go ahead and skip through to the practices. So I mentioned before that this is split up into 3 sections. So we're starting with spring, which is interesting. I don't know why we start with spring. I wonder if this book explains it in more detail. I'll have to read about it and see. So the date of this recording is May 30th. I might be uploading this later, but let's go and look at the end of spring season. So we're very much, and the top of the pages tell you where you are. So right now we're in the start of spring season. And if I did not see that chapter there, I would see mid-spring season. And then I can see here end spring season. So I go and find that. All right. So in the beginning, it will kind of give you a rundown of the month. So it gives you the dates. If there is a Wheel of Year celebration for this time frame, none. Zodiac season is Gemini. Moons in this season, we have the Gemini new moon and the Sagittarius full moon. Reflect on this season. Any changes that need to be made in your life for you to be able to grow into your full potential. So there's a lot of stuff that you could do if you're really into journaling, like seasonal journaling. You have stuff that you can turn into prompts. If you're more so the one that wants to connect with nature, kind of like I want to do, there is what to look out in nature for. So we have baby birds taking their first flight, flowers in bloom, shrubs, bushes, hedgerows, trees exploding into life. So then it just kind of goes into description of that kind of stuff, more of the novel aspects. And then we have some more journal prompts here given in this little special section, I guess. If you want to create an altar, it gives you ideas on that. Doing some daily rituals for the end of the season. So just putting pen to paper, prayers, see the signs, that kind of thing. And then it even gives you different crystals. So if you're into using crystals, and if, setting up your altar using crystals, you can do that as well. We have affirmations, way to work in Gemini season. Use Gemini season to make changes, gather what you need, speak your truth. There's a lot going on in here, and I really like it. The end of spring moons. So it explains the Gemini new moon. It explains and gives you a little moon ritual. It explains the Sagittarius full moon and gives you a little moon ritual for that. How to connect with nature and her wisdom. And then it has a moment of reflection. So this is where you kind of reflect back on the entire season and say, did I do what I set out to do? And then gives you some prompts. If you notice, each chunk of season has this little moment in it. So I really like this, though. I'm super excited. I want to see how this aligns with my camping. I won't really know until I go. I have a lot of travel, so I don't intend to go until maybe the end of summer or perhaps fall. But fall is a beautiful time to camp out here, so maybe that's when I should do my kickoff. So guys, this was the quick flip through of this book. I'm super excited. If you guys work with the seasons, let me know below. Let me know what excites you about this book. And if you guys want to see some stuff on this channel using this book, comment below and let me know. Give me some ideas. I want to know what your thoughts are. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.